Hello, fourth grade ALC. This is Mrs. Glad here. And this week, we are going to go through activities 10A through 10E in your Patterns of Change book. And our objectives are we're going to be able to analyze cyclic imagery in poetry. That means the pictures that come to our mind, we're going to be able to identify how they have cyclic patterns. And we're also going to be able to compare and contrast different works of literature, and we are going to build new vocabulary in the process. So today we have 3 poems that I'm going to read to you. And we have some questions to really think about as I read you these 3 poems. 2 of them are by the same poet, very famous poet, Emily Dickinson. And the third one is by Joseph Ceravolo. And it's noted that Emily Dickinson has a much broader way of creating cyclic imagery, and Joseph Ceravolo has a more simple tone to it. So yes, there are 3 poems, and we're going to get through all of them. So I do want you to get your pencil, and I want you to get your book. Here's your book, and we are going to start on page 83, which is A Day. Nice, easy title, A Day. So I'm going to read you this poem first by Emily Dickinson. I'll tell you how the sun rose, a ribbon at a time. The steeples swam in amethyst. The news like squirrels ran. The hills untied their bonnets. The bobolinks begun. Then I said softly to myself, that must have been the sun. But how he set, I know not. There seemed a purple stile, which little yellow boys and girls were climbing all the while. Till when they reached the other side, a dominie in gray put gently up the evening bars and led the flock away. All right, I want you to underline some of the words that you don't know, because we'll be looking at those and analyzing those. And also I want you to look at the rhyming pattern. We talked about poetry and we talked about meter, and meter is the way a poem reads in a beat. So I want you to go through and look at that again and see the way it rhymed, how it rhymed, which lines rhymed, and the kind of beat that you are experiencing in the process, along with all the imagery. So a lot of images popped into my mind, and I hope they did yours. Okay. I'll give you about a minute to take any final notes you want, and we will move to the next one. Okay, now we have The Sleeping Flowers by Emily Dickinson. Whose are the little beds, I asked, which in the valley lie? Some shook their heads and others smiled, and no one made reply. Perhaps they did not hear, I said. I will inquire again. Whose are the beds, the tiny beds, so thick upon the plain? T is Daisy in the shortest, a little farther on, nearest the door to wake the first, little Leontodon. T is Iris, sir, and Aster, Anemone and Bell, Baschia in the blanket red, and chubby Daffodil. Meanwhile, at many cradles, her busy foot she plied, humming the quaintest lullaby that ever rocked a child. Hush! Ipogee wakens. The crocus stirs her lids. Rhodera's cheek is crimson. She's dreaming of the woods. Then turning from them reverent, their bedtime tea is, she said. The bumblebees will wake them when April woods are red. All right, now there are some words in here I didn't know, and some of them, because they're capitalized, I'm wondering if they're names of flowers. Actually, I think they're all names of flowers, but if it's at the beginning of the line, it's capitalized. And if it's in the middle of the line, it's not. So there are definitely some words in here that I will be looking up myself to find their meaning. So I wanted, again, for you to pay attention to the rhythm and how that was read. And this is one where we're going to have to go back line by line to analyze and think of the imagery. But right now, definitely, I have an image of lots of flowers, even if the title wasn't The Sleeping Flowers. So, interesting poem. We will be spending a lot of time analyzing this. And finally, The Wind is Blowing West by Joseph Ceravolo. I am trying to decide to go swimming, but the sea looks so calm. All the other boys have gone in. I can't decide what to do. I've been waiting in my tent, expecting to go in. Have you forgotten to come down? Can I escape going in? I was just coming. I was just going in, but lost my pail. 2. A boisterous tide is coming up. I was just looking at it. The pail is near me again. My shoulders have sand on them. Round the edge of the tide is the shore. The shore is filled with waves. They are 10 waves. Boisterous tide coming up. Tide is getting less. 3. Daytime is not a brain. Living is not a cricket's song. Why does light diffuse as Earth turns away from the sun? I want to give my food to a stranger. I want to be taken. What kind of a face do I have while leaving? I'm thinking of my friend. 4. I'm trying to go swimming, but the sea looks so calm. All the boys are gone. I can't decide what to do. I've been waiting to go. Have you come down? Can I escape? I am just coming, just going in. All right, in the description of this poem, it provides a lot of imagery, but in a much simpler fashion. It's very matter of fact in some ways, but also very deep in others. So different poets have different ways of writing, and so we can definitely see a difference. And this week we will be comparing and contrasting these poems. But today, here is your purpose. Today, I want you to go back through and skim these again, and then you are going to pick one of them, and do this literature web on page 87. Okay? And then you are going to take a picture and you're going to post it so that we can see your wonderful work of the web of the poem that you chose. So you get to choose which one you do of these 3. And then finally, have a Google form for you. So I have some questions to ask you about these 3 poems. So we're going to kind of gradually increase our depth and knowledge of this. So we'll start off easy on you, and then over the next few days, we're going to just really look into the imagery and get a little bit more complex on the things that we are thinking and improve our vocabulary. So that'll definitely be coming tomorrow. But today I wanted to give you this introduction, allow you to choose a poem, fill out your own literature web, and answer the questions on the Google form. Have a great day, and I'll be back with you tomorrow.